सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय। 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram, Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om and humble prostrations to one and all present here. For the next 3 days, the mornings, we are going to take Pratah Smaranam. This is a stotram written by Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya. So early morning, what are we supposed to do? So that is what is said. Only 3 verses. So let us enter into the first verse. Pratah Smaranam hrudi samsphuradátmatattvam Sacitsukham paramahamsagatim turèyam yatsvapna jágarasussuptamavaiti nityam tadbrahma niskalamaham nacha bhutasañgha. Together. Pratah Smaranam hrudi samsphuradátmatattvam Sacitsukham paramahamsagatim turèyam yatsvapna jágarasussuptamavaiti nityam tadbrahma niskalamaham nacha bhutasañgha. Pratah, early in the morning, smarámi, I remember, hrudi, in my heart, samsphuradátmatattvam, that Atma-tattvam, that great truth, tattvam, which is as my own self, Atma, and that is samsphurat, it is shining. May I remember early in the morning. So this is what we have to do early in the morning. Okay? The moment we get up. So what is the greatness of early morning? That is the best time we are in. Body has taken rest, mind has taken rest, we are absolutely fresh. The environment is also very conducive for meditation. So the best of the time, generally called as Brahma Muhurta, we should do the best. And what is the best thing we can do? Remember God. And who is God? He is there as the very Atma in us, the self in us. So, Pratah Smaranam. Now the term used here is Smaranam. Smaranam means remember. What is that which you can remember? Only that which is already known, isn't it? So it is already present. That self as consciousness is all the time shining. It is ever available for experience. What is a mistake we do? Vismaranam is the mistake we do. You see, generally the term used is self-ignorance. What is ignorance? Ignoring is called ignorance. Ignoring means what? Not paying attention. So smarana means paying attention. Just recollection. You don't have to do anything. You have to just remember that it is there. The whole of spirituality is nothing but this. Self-remembrance. With all reverence, remember the presence of the self. What is the mistake we do? Self-forgetfulness. Our attention is outward, into the world, amidst the sense objects, and in this process we do this great mistake of self-forgetfulness. So now all the terms are the terms glorifying the self. Why self-remembrance is the most important thing in life. Everything that which we seek is there in the self. We don't have to seek anything from the outer world. In fact, the outer world is only to go into the inner world. It's a bouncing pad. What is the purpose of the world? To bounce back into the self. That is why the world is created. So when we are existing on this planet, when we are living in this world, we should be very clear about what the purpose of life is. The purpose of life is abidance in the self. And once abidance becomes effortless, natural, firm, there is no more any need to desire anything. All the desires come to an end, and a result of desirelessness, what is the result? Birthlessness, liberation. So morning is the best time. You are fresh, you are at your best. Mind has taken rest, body has taken rest. So therefore, the best meditation possibly is at dawn. Pratah Smaranam. So where should the meditation happen? Hrudi, in our own heart. What is that heart? That core of existence in us, where we feel the presence of our existence, where we feel the presence of I, that is called as hrudi, in the heart, in the center of our being. You see, these are all mere words. You have to actually do it. Okay. We are not talking of the pumping heart here. We are talking of, but somewhere I think both of them are same only. The center of our being is called heart, where we experience intensely the presence of our existence. That is called as heart. Sometimes they use guha, guhayam pravishta, the cave of the heart. These are all mystical terms. That is a place where we have to pay our attention. When we look within, this is where we have to look. Hrudi. So what do we find there? Samsphurat. Samsphurat means it is shining. As a light of consciousness, it is shining. A light of awareness. And what is that awareness? It is nothing but Atmatattvam, the truth. It is none other than Bhagavan himself. And what is the nature of this consciousness? Sat-Chit-Sukham. So with all reverence, we have to turn our attention there. The whole verse is talking about how valuable this presence is. Sat-Chit-Sukham. This consciousness, this Atma, the Self, is Sat. Sat means what? Existence. What kind of existence? Absolute existence. Independent existence. The Self, its nature itself is existence. Means what? It need not depend on anything else for its existence. It is independently existing. The wave has no independent existence. It depends on water for existence. Gold ornaments, they depend on gold for its existence. So there is a dependent existence, there is an independent existence. This consciousness, this Self, what is the nature? Independently existing. Everything else exists, borrowing existence from the Self. This is the glory of the Self. This way we have to meditate upon the Self. So when we meditate upon the Self in this way, what comes? Self-respect comes. You see? You respect the Self. I may be a useless fellow, but the Self shining in me is the very support of the whole world. What is the difference between self-respect and superiority complex? Both appear to be same. In superiority complex, I am great, all others are inferior. But in self-respect, I respect the Self and I also respect everyone. So it's a virtue. Both appear to be same. One should not misunderstand one for the other. There's a huge difference. I respect this Self because Lord Himself is residing as the Self. Such a person will never have any problem of inferiority complex. What are you giving importance in life? If you are giving importance to external things, you will have inferiority complex, superiority complex. But if you are giving importance to your essential nature, then all these negativities will just disappear. Inferiority and superiority complex, they are two sides of the same coin. And what is that coin? Ego. Whereas this self-respect is born out of understanding your true nature. That is why it is a virtue. Anything born out of reality, any virtue born out of reality, it is positive. So Sat, Atma Tattvam is Sat, existence. So the whole world is existing because Atma is existing. The whole world borrows its existence from Atma Tattvam. That is the glory of Atma. I exist, therefore the world exists. This is the way you should say. But what is ignorance? World exists, therefore I exist. See the glory of the Self. The whole world is in the mind. Mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. And thoughts exist in consciousness. So therefore, consciousness is the very support of all existence in the world. Everything in this world derives its existence from consciousness. So this Atma Tattvam is absolute existence, independent existence. Its nature itself is that of existence. So this is where our attention should go. There is something in us which is absolutely imperishable. Existence means what? Which knows no non-existence. It can never become non-existent. Means it can never die. It can never perish. So there is something in me which is imperishable. Shift your attention there. Feel it. Experience it. Let it not become mere some words. Nididhyasana means experiencing, feeling it. That experience with repetition should become natural, effortless. That is called as abidance. Effortless experience of the truth is called abidance. Sat. So this aspect you meditate, existence. I exist. Feel that existence. Sat. Chit. That is the second term. Chit. Chit means what? Consciousness. Consciousness means what? Knowing principle. Knowing. Being aware. Chit. And what kind of knowing is it? Absolute knowing. It knows everything. Again, independent knowing. It doesn't depend on any instrument for knowing. The sense organs depend upon the mind to know. Mind's knowing and consciousness knowing. What is the difference? In fact, mind doesn't have the ability to know. It only derives that ability from consciousness. It is a borrowed property. It is a stolen property. So how does it express? You'll always find when you are knowing through your mind, you get tired. There is effort involved. And therefore you go to sleep. Because there is exhaustion, effort, energy spent. What about the knowing of consciousness? It is effortless. Just like reflection of a mirror. Is there an effort there? No. That is called as nature. Nature means effortlessness. Fire's heat, it's effortless. Reflection of a mirror, it is effortless. Knowing of the mind, it is effortful. The moment something is borrowed, it is no more original, it is duplicate. And then it will have a lot of defects. So Chit, again, shift your attention to that Atmatattvam, meditate upon that knowing. It is just knowing. Effortless knowing. Spontaneous knowing. Absolute knowing. The knowing which knows no unknowing. It just knows. All the terms sarvajna, sarvavit, etc. comes from this term, knowing. It just knows. Sat, Chit. See the perfection. And the third one, Sukham. It is blissful. Independently, effortlessly blissful. Bliss is its nature. Sukham. So this Sat-Chit-Sukham is nothing but Sat-Chit-Anandam. So in this Sukham, no interaction with sense object is necessary. So meditate upon that, experience that bliss, revel in that bliss. In fact, this bliss, the intensity of bliss, is a measure of success of meditation. How do I know? There has to be a meditation meter which shows how effectively I am meditating. Right? The dial should show. So what is that dial? This is that dial. Sukham. If meditation is not happening properly, there is obstruction in this sukham. Time duration and intensity both. The moment the mind goes away from Atma Tattvam, the moment the mind goes into Anatma Vishaya, the Sukham suddenly comes down. That is the time when we are alerted. Oh, mind has gone out. Because there is an obstruction in bliss flow. Sat-Chit-Sukham. In fact, all the three go together. When your attention goes away from Sat, away from Atma, Sukham comes down. All the three go together. It is not possible that I am meditating successfully on Sat-Chit, but Sukham is not happening. Never. So this is the way we come to know. Suppose you go to sleep, then what will happen? Sleep means what? Achit is sleep. You are no more aware. Then what about Sukham? You are no more experiencing Sukham consciously. You see? Sleep, Sukham is there, but you are not aware. Conscious experience of bliss happens only when you are conscious. Sat-Chit-Sukham. And this state, paramahamsagatim. This is the goal of paramahamsas. So who is a paramahamsa? A realized master is called a paramahamsa. Very nice comparison it is, paramahamsa. Who is a hamsa? A swan bird is called a hamsa, hamsa pakshi. So what is the ability of this pakshi? Unique ability? Nirakshira viveka. It is able to separate kshira from nira. Nira means water. Kshira means milk. So if you give a mixture of milk and water, this bird has the ability to take only the milk and leave water. They say this ability this swan bird has. This is first comparison. In the same way, Mahatma, he is in the world. And this world is a mixture of permanent and impermanent, real and unreal. There is a mixture that has happened. A Mahatma is able to fix his attention upon the real and is able to understand what is unreal. So that Viveka Shakti is there, ability to discriminate. This is one. Number two, this Hamsa Pakshi flies very high, very high. In the same way, a Mahatma, though he is living in the world just like us, his thoughts are going very high. He is not stuck up in likes and dislikes. Raga, Dvesha, Kama, Krodha, Ahankara, Mamakara. This is called lower level. Our mind is stuck in so many whirlpools of likes and dislikes. It can't fly high. Stuck. You see in the vehicles also, the bicycles, the auto rickshaws, they all go on the road. no proper shock absorber also. So you really suffer everything. Hump is there, pothole is there on Indian roads, you see. Pollution is there. Noise pollution, air pollution, everything you have to go through. But what about the flight? 100 times faster. Away from noise, away from pollution. Smooth ride. You see the difference? Higher you go, lesser the obstruction. Whether it is physical traveling, so in the same way, the higher you think, the higher your understanding about life, lesser the problems you will face in life. It's always true. How high can you go, lesser the problems you will face. I remember one Aesop's fable. So there was this eagle sitting on the top of, on a branch. So one rabbit comes. Rabbit looks at this eagle. Eagle is comfortably seated, blissful. Rabbit is restless. It asks, "Oh eagle, can I also sit like you, doing nothing?" Eagle said, "Yes, why not?" So the rabbit also sat. Where? Below, under the tree. Next moment a fox comes and catches it. Story's over. So the moral of the story is, if you want to sit doing nothing, you should be really placed very high. In the same way, if you are able to do this meditation, you don't have to do anything else. Higher you go, there is more and more of relaxation. There is more of actionlessness. Because what is the understanding? There is a Lord who is doing everything. I have to just surrender. So that state of abidance is the paramahamsagatim. The more and more we are free of this compulsions of ego, our thinking becomes free. And our thinking becomes high. And as thinking becomes, see, the lighter things go higher, heavier things go down. Mind is also like that, a lighter mind, a purer mind, a more evolved mind. It goes higher and higher. And higher means what? Lesser and lesser problems. Even in religion also you will find people who are fanatic, they have a lot of problems. My religion alone is good, not yours. A lot of problems. But when you go really deep into your own religion, whichever religion it may be, what is the message? We are all one, God is one. External rituals, etc. may be different, but the essential message is one. So then what do you experience? You experience oneness of all religion. There is peace, there is friendliness, there is love. You see? Greater your understanding, lesser the problem. So this Hamsa Pakshi flies very high. Just like the Mahatmas, their thinking is so high. They are beyond all kinds of divisions, man-made divisions. Country, nationality, religion, caste, gender. Because their attention is upon this Atma Tattvam. Atma Tattvam is same, one in everyone. All problems come from the vision of difference. I am different, you are different. Problem starts. Then there is comparison. Then there is competition. Then there is jealousy. Then there is hatred. It comes from the vision of difference. And all problems are solved with the vision of oneness. Wherever there is oneness, there is love. All the values just follow with the vision of oneness. So this vision of oneness is called as a sattvic vision. It is the highest vision. That's why Bhagavan says, Nahitnyanena sadrisham pavitramiha vidyate. The greatest purifier in this world is jnanam, right understanding. If you have the right understanding, you will not see any problem. But if you have so many wrong notions, you will see only problem. That is why jnana chakshu is used. The term is jnana chakshu. How are you seeing the world? With what eyes are you seeing the world? Not the physical eye. Physical eye will show the same thing. But there is a chakshu called jnana chakshu. The eye of wisdom. What are you seeing? But if you train yourself in this way, which way? Meditating upon Atma Tattvam, Sat-Chit-Ananda Tattvam, consciousness. Whatever training you have given to the mind, mind will behave accordingly everywhere. This is the law. So if you have trained your mind to pierce your body and see the essence in you, the self in you, that is how the mind is trained. So that mind, when it goes out into the world, what will it see? It has been trained to see consciousness in the body, in myself. So such a mind will see only consciousness in others. Because that is a training given to it. And when I see my own consciousness expressing as different life forms, there is this vision of oneness. And there is only love. There is peace. So this is called as flying high. So this is the second characteristics of Hamsa Pakshi. The third one, this Pakshi, this bird, Hamsa, swan, it is said that it takes bath only in Manasarovar. It doesn't take bath in some, puddle of water caused by some rain. No. Crows may take bath there, but Hamsa Pakshi will go only there, Manasarovar, and take a refreshing dip. So in the same way, Mahatmas take refreshing dip only in the self. It's called as Atma Tirtham. It's a pilgrimage center. They take a dip there. When you take a dip in water, what happens? You are refreshed. So this is a very important question to ask. How do I refresh myself? Whenever I get tired, exhausted, what is the source of my refreshment? So there are different types of refreshments available in this world. Tamasic, Rajasic and Satvik. What are the tamasic refreshments? Drinks and drugs. That shows something about what that person is, what guna that person has. So every time I am disturbed, depressed, okay, 1 or 2 peg. That is what the lower kind of people they revel in. Then we have Rajasic refreshments, too much of physical activity, gym and sports and all that. That also is refreshment. That will come under Rajasic. Egoistic joys, compete, win, conquer. They are charged up. Super Bowl, etc. They are all Rajasic. And now we have this Sattvic refreshment. What is that? Meditation, prayer, selfless service. All that Sattvic joy which we get through Sattvic habits, that is called a Sattvic refreshment. So then we have to introspect and find out in which category do I belong. How do you refresh yourself? Ask this question. Whenever you are tired and exhausted, where do you go? What do you do? Hamsa Pakshi, it refreshes only in Manasarovar. Manasarovar means what? Manasa Sarovara. Sarovara means lake. Manasa of the mind. Entertain the emotion of devotion and the mind becomes divine. Take a refreshing dip in that divine emotion of the mind. It is said that the Manasarovara, if it is very serene, undisturbed, without waves, then you can see the reflection of Mount Kailasa. So in the same way, when the mind is absolutely peaceful, you see the reflection of Bhagavan in your own heart. This is the third comparison of Hamsa Pakshi. You see, that is why Mahatmas are called paramahamsas. Their thinking is always the highest. They take a refreshing dip only in divine emotions. That's how they refresh themselves, through divine practices. And again, when they are in this world, the discrimination is so sharp. What is real, what is unreal, what is permanent, what is impermanent. Hold on to the real, hold on to the impermanent, and have vairagya towards viveka, vairagya, samadhi, shatka sampatti, mumukshutva. Difference between real and unreal, hold on to the real, drop the unreal. That is all what we have to do. So, paramahamsagatim, that goal which paramahamsas have kept. What is the goal? Sat-Chit-Sukham is the goal. Okay, do the comparison now. The same Sat-Chit-Sukham, what does an ordinary people do? His existence is the existence of the body. Whereas a Mahatma's existence, what is his definition of existence? Existence of the self, Atma Tattva. Chit. Mahatmas considers knowing the self as real knowledge. What about the worldly people? Self is completely ignored. They think knowing the world is real knowledge. You see the difference. See the difference in understanding. Ordinary people, according to them, what is Sukham? Vishaya Sukham, Indriya Sukham. Sense pleasures are for them happiness. What about Mahatmas? Atma Sukham. You see? See what a huge difference there is in definition of each term. Sat-Chit-Ananda. So this Atma Tattvam is the gati of Paramahamsa. And this Atma Tattvam is turèyam. Turèyam means the fourth state. So how is this fourth state? So see the next line. Yatsvapna jágarasussuptamavaiti. Actually it is not the fourth state. It is that state which illumines the three states. What are the three states? Swapna, Jagara, Sushupti. It is just illumining, making us aware. Swapna, dream. Jagara, waking. Sushupti, deep sleep. These three are the three states of the mind. This consciousness illumines these three states. Though we say Chaturtham Manyante, the fourth state, but actually it is not the fourth state. It is that state which illumines the three states of the mind. Let us not misunderstand it to be the fourth state of the mind. No. It is like the screen. Screen is not the part of the movie. Screen is a support for the movie. In the same way, this state is a support for the three states. Three states are the three states of the mind. So, jágarasussuptamavaiti, it just shines, makes us aware. All these three states, they come one after the other. They are contradicting to each other. When you are in waking, you are not in dream. When you are in dream, you are not in sushupti. So one comes, one overpowers the other, remains for some time and gets overpowered by the other. This is the play. But what about this state? Nityam, it is always there. So, effort is to shift our attention to this Nitya Vastu, Atma Vastu. This is the whole of Vedantic meditation. So it's not necessary that only Pratah Samaya you must do this. This is there everywhere. Every moment it is there. In fact, to do this meditation, you can do it subjectively, silently, secretly. Nobody will even know. It can be done even when you are talking, doing, even when you are fulfilling all your worldly responsibilities. One part of the mind can be always doing this. Remember yesterday, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanasmaryuddhyacha. All the time remember me. This is the thing. Tadbrahma niskalamaham nacha bhutasañgha. That Brahman I am. That Atma Tattvam I am. That reality I am, which is nishkalam. The one without kala is called nishkalam. Kala means what? Kala means parts. That's one meaning. This consciousness is without any parts, unlike the body. Body is sakalam, along with parts. So many parts are there, limbs are there. But there is something in this body which is without any parts. Kala also means face, Phase, different face. Like Chandra Kala, different phases of the moon. In the same way, our body also has got different face. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viprinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyate. It is born, it grows, matures, decays. They are all different phases of the body. What about Brahman? Nishkalam. There is something in me which doesn't undergo change, which is just observing the change. That observer of the change I am. What is the proof that observer doesn't change? What is the proof? The proof is I am able to remember my past. My childhood days I am able to remember. How am I able to remember? To remember something, you should be there in the present and you should have been there in the past also, isn't it? You see the logical way of thinking. If everything has changed, how can I remember? Because the experiencer is different from the rememberer. Got it? Experiencer was the same. Experiencer was the same as rememberer. There is a common factor. I am able to remember the past because I was there in the past. I was there in the past means I did not change. So the I in me is that changeless thing. Everything else in me has changed except the I in me. That is why I am able to remember everything. Nishkalam. Tadbrahma niskalamaham nacha bhutasañgha. Not this assembly of bhuta, of the elements. This panchamahabhutas. Sangha means assembly. So this is a mistake we do. We think that I am this assembly, this body. Bhutasañgha means body. There is a law. Sanghatasya pararthatvat. Any assembly is for the use of somebody else, not for the assembly itself. Say for example, car is an assembly of so many parts, isn't it? So this assembly is for somebody else. It's for the driver, the owner of the car. It cannot be for the assembly itself. The car cannot be for the wheel or for the steering. Assembly is always used by somebody else. Sanghatasya pararthatvat. Para-artham. Somebody else is going to make use of that assembly, not the part of the assembly. House. House is an assembly of so many things. But house is not there for its own sake. An owner of the house uses it. If this is the logic, this body is also an assembly. Right? So somebody else must be using this assembly. Nacha bhutasañgha. So I am that which is different from the body, using the body as my instrument. But I am different from this assembly. This way, remain an observer and meditate upon the self. Right, so 5 minutes we will sit in silence now. Once again we will chant it and then sit in silence. Pratah smarámi hrudi samsphuradátmatattvam. Sacchitsukham paramahamsagatim turèyam. Yatsvapna jágarasussuptamavaiti nityam. Tadbrahma niskalamaham nacha bhutasañgha. सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ